Hello everyone and welcome back. 2023 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. The Vista del Camino Park. Seeing Ohn Scoggins just, well, pretty much playing everything she can to perfection so far. She's trying to hold off the likes of Natalie Ryan along with Maria Oliva and Anniken Steen. This is the back nine of round number 3 moving day at Vista. And we'll see who can not only make the cut, but then, of course, be on our final round lead card come Championship Sunday. Hole 10, par 5, 651 feet. OB off to the right-hand side with the sidewalk or that pathway. Of course, left-hand side has the water and a path as well. And there is a mandatory tree. Basically, the tree right at 12 o'clock that you see directly in front of you. They must navigate to the right of that tree. And that's exactly what Ohn is doing with her forehand flex shot. Just, okay, as she says. We've seen a couple of different ambidextrous shots out of Natalie Ryan so far, and now we're going to see another left-handed drive, which sets up very well for at least the tee shot and possibly even the second shot on this hole. Anniken gets that to flip up and ride. That's a full flex. I like it. Anniken plays with a mixed bag. We also saw her take down the PCS Sula Open, a Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series event in Norway, which is where she's from. I know she's going to be touring here, at least through the Jonesboro stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And she'll go back, and I think we'll see her back and forth a number of times throughout the season. And you got to love her style of play. Seems very smooth. Some great putting, and great to see a lefty out there. Maria's taking this gap on the left side of the fairway. Still has a look to get up and down, possibly to pick up a birdie. Oh, and that connects and is going to get shot down there for Natalie. And this is an incredible drive. Like I said, getting a full flex out of her tee shot. And this looks just as good or better. Perfect by Anniken. Now a right-handed forehand. And that's going to flirt with the OB up on that right side, but I believe it checks up and still stays in bounds. Ohn is ready to go. Almost throwing it in for the eagle. And she said, I just want to lay up. And what a putt. Natalie's going to go to 1 under on the round. Anniken answers with a sweet putt as well, and that's going to be for an eagle 3. Hole 10 was changed to a par 5 come Shelly Sharpe. And we're going to see how some of that math checks out as to how our competitors have been taking it on. It is playing as the softest hole on the course. It still averaged 4.61. So I know you could make an argument and say, well, it feels like a really easy par 5, but it's still playing as 4.61. So you can fight about that in the comments if you want, but it is the easiest hole relative to par for today's round. We'll see how that shakes out tomorrow. But now we're on hole number 11, 543 feet. A par 4 with OB with the path on the left, as well as the high right side that is out of bounds. So we'll see what she can do from there. Still looks like she could get up and down and get the birdie. Ohn out in the center of the fairway. And left side and out of bounds. Is this going to do the same, or does it check up? That's going to actually stop and be in bounds there for Maria. So catching a break there. Easy to be tentative on this approach when you have to throw it hard, just because you have the sidewalk on the left and then also that high right side as out of bounds. But Maria's going to park it on her second shot. That looks like a tap-in birdie. Here's Ohn. Playing the forehand flex. That's going to give her a look for par. Actually, if I did my counting right, that would be a look for birdie, I believe. It's been a long week out here, folks. And I do seriously hope that you guys are enjoying the action that we're able to capture for you this weekend out here at the Memorial Championship. Big thanks to anyone that's been positive and commenting, tagging, sharing, all of that stuff. All the YouTube things that I always beg of you. Also making a big push to that 100,000 subscriber mark. I don't often put out a ton of post-production content just because I'm busy with live disc golf and the Disc Golf Network, as I'm contracted with them more than 20 weeks out of the year. But certainly love my time in Arizona. My crew over at First Light, Dan, Boyd, Robin, always taking care of me, and just so many kind and gracious people helping me out. There's a reason I do keep coming back to Arizona. It's the golf, but more so it's so many incredible people. Doesn't get much easier than that for Maria, the tap-in birdie. And Natalie's going to give a couple strokes back to the group. Check out the fresh new website, teamdiscraft.com. Certainly plenty of goodies for you to go pick up over there. Makes it easy for you to support any of your favorite pros for Team Discraft. And Ohn Scoggins comes up short on the drive here on hole 12. So she's going to be out of bounds, and essentially that's going to be a re-tee from where she was at. And even though Maria clipped a branch or two, it powers through and is going to be up on the platform. Now, Ohn can move toward the water's edge. She can move up that extra 12 or 15 feet if she wants. That's where she was last inbound, so she does have that option. But more often than not, you'll find our players want to just go with whatever they've been using for the tee pad surface. Looks like it might have been a slip for Natalie. Is she going to still get it And it does. The lefty hyzer still gets up the hill. So Ohn re-teeing. This is what is ultimately her third shot. And it looks similar. Asking why she didn't do it the first time. And what a putt by Maria Oliva from way deep in circle 2. Making it look easy, like she's been there before. Nice putt on what's been a pretty rough round here for Maria. That's got to feel good, though. Natalie's effort is short. And Ohn makes that to save the bogey. Just thinking, that is, in fact, I didn't remember any other bogey coming up on her card, and sure enough, that's her only bogey of the round. Through 12 holes, Ohn, 1 bogey. Anniken dancing around on the top. Natalie will clean up for par. And I was just thinking about how Ohn shot the bogey-free 5-under during the opening round. She had a couple of bogeys during round 2 out there at Fountain Hills. And as I said, that's her first bogey here as we're 12 holes in. So she's just been keeping it so clean. Proving that a little bit of accuracy and some incredible putting will go a long way, of course. As we're on 13, this is a bonus all day. I'd love to see either a different tee or a different pin, just because, this is just not a hole that I think appropriately or correctly challenges the FPO field. And I'll go as far as saying, like, this feels like a bonus for our MPO field, and the FPO field even tougher for them to get there. Maria skips out of bounds on that left side. That looks like layup territory. Natalie's going to play out and around, and that's still going to come up considerably short, probably a layup from there. And this is dangerous, but Ohn does get it to stop. Ohn's reaction says it all, and a little bit of frustration and disbelief. And that one carries. She's asking for it to sit down. So she'll have a little work left to do. And you can see just concentrating on keeping it low below the branches, but also not throwing it too hard and throwing it past the basket and into the water. Maria's going to have an easy layup from the drop zone. And Natalie wants no part of a legitimate birdie bid there. Just going to lay it up next to the basket. Oh, and Ohn skips off the top of the basket and into the water. So a double punishment here. Going to be out of bounds, left with a little bit of work, and she's going to come back. And I know I was just praising her. I really wasn't in any attempt trying to foreshadow or jinx her, but unfortunate skip away for Ohn is going to put the double bogey on her scorecard. So she came into the round 9 under. She's still now at 12 under. And even with the double bogey is going to have a 5-stroke lead over Natalie. If you're looking to support me and the coverage, we've talked about Patreon, but also continue to put products on my website, hats, shirts, other items, along with a ton of disc, of course. Shop.thediscgolfguy.com. Tell them the Disc Golf Guys. Oh, wait. That'd be me. Anyway, if you want, go check it out. Hole 14, 605 feet.
Okay. Yes, you were. You were right. Thanks.
See the mandatories here. This first right tree, or tree on the right, you have to go to the left of, and then that second tree on the left, you have to go to the right of. So essentially, they're just trying to force you to throw relatively straight off the tee or maybe play that righty hyzer. But you do have those 2 trees to make sure you're passing along the correct side of them. And I like the move that Maria puts on this. And that's going to curl up center of the fairway. Great shot by Maria. Ohn's seems like she's unraveling just a little bit. She struggled now over the last couple of holes, picking up the bogey on 12, the double on 13. This is a par 5 for the women at 605 feet. Off in the distance, you see hole number 5, and then off to the left of where Maria was standing, that's actually the fairway of 6, which I talked about earlier. And thankfully for Maria, that comes down. They are playing the 2-meter rule, which if you're unfamiliar means anytime you're stuck in anything 6 feet 6 inches or above, otherwise known as 2 meters, you will be assessed a penalty. And we saw that come into play a few times over at the Fountain course. It is in effect at this course as well. Easy approach for Anniken. That was her 3rd. So Maria's 3rd has a low ceiling, so not really an opportunity to get aggressive with it. But she is looking to have a tap-in birdie. So Ohn back on track, picking up the birdie 4. Most of our top 8 or 10 competitors taking advantage here of the generosity that hole 14 can offer. See a lot of birdies on our chase card. Now we've seen a birdie by Ohn and an eagle. So a 3 by Natalie. I feel like 3s are certainly obtainable for most of our FPO field. Just a matter of throwing the 2 good shots to get there. But 605 feet. Very attainable for so many of these players. Maria's in for birdie and Anniken looking to do the same. So we're going to see 5 under from our 4 women here on hole number 14. I don't know about you guys, but I'd celebrate with, I don't know, a bag of jerky
Hi, I'm Andrew Marweed, and for the last 3 years, I've been one of the top putters in the world. I chose the DGA Steady for its straight, consistent flight path and the confidence it gives me on the green. Plus, it comes in both beaded and beadless versions with a wide variety of plastics. I prefer the Stone Steady BL, but you can find your Steady at discgolf.com.
We head over to hole 15, which has a shorter tee for the FPO division, 450 feet, trying to make this bend as it goes from right to left. Often you'll be splitting these two trees at some point when you come in, probably playing a skip to about circle's edge and then trying to finish right at the pin.
It's so cute. Like a baby, is it? How many months is it?
She's 5 years old. She's just tiny.
5 years old? Yeah. And she looks like she's only 2 or 3 months.
I know.
You're so little. I know, baby. I know.
I mean, if you're not petting a dog or applying some Distinguished Doodle products, I'm not sure you're having a good day. No problem for Natalie, out and around. And not a hole that sets up real well for a lefty backhand shot. Oh, and she doesn't put any turn on it, or it looks like maybe she had an issue with grip or something as she made a motion to her hand immediately following the release there. Perfectly safe from where she's at, but that's going to be a really tough approach for a birdie look.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
This often plays as one of the easier holes relative to par. In fact, today coming in as the 3rd easiest. Oh, correction, 4th easiest. I could have just
All right.
left it and lied to you guys. You wouldn't have fact-checked me, I bet. But anyway, 4th easiest. And I realize what I just did. I opened myself up for you guys to fact-check. You already know when I'm wrong. I mean, let's be real. You talk enough, you'll say some really stupid stuff. Anniken short, and from there, looking just to get up and down and saving a par. Now Anniken with a forehand approach. Quite effective. That has a pretty good chance to save the par. Maria trying to make light work of hole 15. So as we're rounding out, I think some of you are pretty familiar with what holes 16, 17, or 18, or wait until you've seen them all. But what I'm asking you to put in the comments, make you eligible for some jerky. Now that you've seen both courses, which one do you prefer to play? Not necessarily view or watch. Which one would you rather play? Would you rather come out to play Vista on the XL layout, which is what they're playing right now, or would you rather go out to Fountain Hills? Grass a little bit greener, a lot more water out there. Definitely a shorter layout than what we're seeing here. So that's what I need to know in the comments. So Natalie is 3 under for the round, Ohn 5 under for the round. And we saw Maria as much as 7 over at one point for the round. But now she's trying to fight back, erase some of those bogeys. And she's 3 over for today's round. We head over to 16, 390 feet. This is a bonus birdie and then some all day long. You really would love to get to the base of the hill, and then from there you'll have to decide how aggressive do you want to be in trying to actually go after the putt. Big shout out to Todd, who's a gentleman that just really got into disc golf recently and then assisted with the drone previews, of course, hooked up by none other than one Pete Ulibarri. So Todd, Pete, rest of the Arizona community, love you guys so much. I appreciate the help. And does that check up before the OB? It does. She's going to get the safe sign. Not a lot going right for Maria today. We'll see if she can finish strong and possibly make a charge even tomorrow. That's pushing toward the OB sidewalk, but comes up just short, so she'll be safe. Looking at an uphill approach or putt, depending on how aggressive she wants to be. Maria is going to play out and around the tree. Nice soft landing. And that's an excellent approach shot for Maria. Well, even better for Ohn. And sometimes it can be a blessing to be at this distance. Just knowing you're pitching up, you're really taking the temptation of running it out of play. As we're seeing Natalie now, circle's edge. Oh, no, and that's going to roll all the way back and out of bounds. Now, Natalie does have the option to either putt from where she was just putting from, or she can go from where she was last in bounds. In this case, simply re-putting from where she was is going to be much more advantageous. So certainly the right play here, in my opinion. And she runs that one, and it sits down. And Maria's actually got away from her a little more than I realized. This is just inside the circle. And she has to be thinking about what she just saw from the previous attempts, but doesn't seem to phase her. What a great par save for Maria. I was going to say, it sounds like the Ohn fan club, but pretty sure everybody's in the Ohn fan club. You know, we'd run out of membership numbers if we were to actually create an Ohn fan club. We just assume the entire world is in it. Question is, who's the president? We'll pick up some Distinguished Doodle products. Again, Disc Golf Guy is your code. 20% off. Vista, hole number 17. They've added a wall, and you must land inside this wall. Come to rest fully. Even if you skip in and then out of it, you then would go to the drop zone, so you must come to rest on the island green. That's exactly what Maria Oliva is going to do. Ohn's impressed. Interesting to see Ohn go backhand, playing the flex, and playing it for the bullseye. Especially when you just know how good she is with a forehand, and that's also a pretty common play. And I'm not second-guessing any of Ohn's decisions, but some might be a little surprised to not see her go forehand there. Of course, I think that has a higher potential for a roll-away. I definitely understand that, but nonetheless, we're 3 for 3 inside the circle here on 17. Not a surprise to see Natalie now go back to the lefty hyzer. And 4 for 4 inside the circle, making this one look easy. Hole 17, playing as the 8th easiest hole on the course. And Maria Oliva making quick work of it. There were 10 total birdies out of 23 women. Well, that's 2 of them. Things are looking pretty good here. And speaking of looking good, hope you guys are enjoying this coverage. Trying to bring you MPO, FPO action, and I've told you all along, we've got MP40 also being recorded. That's going to come out shortly after the event. I wanted to focus on our MPO and FPO divisions. And a big thanks to my entire crew that's out there hustling around trying to give you guys as much coverage as possible, and anyone that's helped on commentary or some of these late night edits, along with our sponsors. And 18-290, really straightforward. Well, it appears to be, at least. You must come to rest inbounds, otherwise you go to the drop zone. And I'm just going to say it now. The drop zone at best is a bogey. So you must come to rest inbounds, otherwise a bogey is pretty much inevitable. We've seen some par saves on 17 in the past. We've seen other par saves from drop zones, but this one is almost a guaranteed bogey. Green flag for Maria. Ohn hunting for a green flag of her own, and she's going to get it. 18 coming in as the 3rd most difficult hole on the course today. Does that check up? No. And I can appreciate the kind of subtle nature. Sometimes people get a little overzealous and excited to be whipping that big red out of bounds flag around. Don't get too excited about waving that thing if you don't have to. I can appreciate the subtle nature of just putting it out there. Hey, you see it. That's all we need. You want to get wild with the green, go for it. The red should be a little bit more somber. And with that, I will thank all of the incredible sponsors and supporters and all of our volunteers that are out there hustling around at both courses. Over 500 competitors out here for the weekend for 4 days of competition, and that doesn't get done without incredible volunteer staff. So Ohn is short. There's been 2 birdies on this hole. Jennifer Allen and Violet Main have picked up birdies. Anniken is in for the bogey. Natalie will tap in for the bogey, and I mentioned there were just 2 birdies on the day. Make that 3. Maria Oliva, the easy tap in for birdie. Ohn Scoggins will move in for the par. And Ohn has the hottest round out of all competitors. She shoots a 6 under, and with that, will bring a sizable lead into Championship Sunday. Looking forward to seeing what she can do, but she's 7 ahead of Natalie, 9 ahead of Jen Allen, and 11 ahead of Anniken, who will join her on the lead card. That's the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We'll see you on Championship Sunday.